Don't mind me, it's just a really cold, snowy day here in Iowa, so I'm going to have a cup of tea before we begin. Alright, welcome back to my channel. My name is Derek and I like to talk about tech and travel and meshing them together as much as possible. What I have today is an audio solution from RØDE. Of course, what I'm talking about is RØDE's new Videomic NTG, which is a broadcast quality mic made for on-camera use. So before I unbox the RØDE Videomic NTG, I want to talk a little bit about my history with RØDE. Back in 2014, I was doing a festival video project for a country music festival called Treetown Festival here in my local area, and I needed a microphone, so I picked up the original RØDE video mic. Back in the day, I think I spent about $200 on this. It might have been a little bit more. It actually has the rubber band system, which is unlike the newer ones with the Rycote Lyre. Over the years, I've used this a ton in my travel videos. This original version requires a 9-volt battery to be powered, and it goes in this little compartment here, which is actually kind of hard to get to and open and close. It also came with the cable pre-installed all the way into the microphone, so you can see it kind of wraps around under here and goes straight into the bottom there. So there's no way to replace the cable unless you were to send it in. And then these rubber bands can actually break. If you break or lose any of these things, which I've actually got some tearing right there. So this one's about to break. You're kind of SOL unless you have the specific ones from the company, the proprietary ones from RØDE. And these little rubber bands could break pretty easily just by putting it in the bag. You could actually put some pressure on it one way or the other, and it would either dislodge the little connectors here, or it would actually tear the band. Another inconvenience about this mic, and granted that all mics at the time probably had the exact same problem, is you can easily forget to turn it on and off sometimes. So there was a ton of shots where I either had the microphone on and drained the battery for the next shot, or I had it off, not even realizing it, and the audio didn't come through at all, so the clip was useless. But you never really realize that you lost the audio until you're in post much later. So the specifications of this new mic are actually pretty impressive, and I can't wait to try them out. It actually adds a lot of features that people have been wanting for a while, plus it improves on the previous models of the RØDE Videomic series. Just let the snowplow go by for a second there. As of this unboxing, RØDE actually has a firmware update for this microphone, which is really kind of weird to hear because most microphones don't have software updates. But this is a hybrid mic, so it actually has digital components that give it the ability to have firmware updates, so it can actually get better over the subsequent versions. So before I start using it, I'll do that update for you as well. All right, so let's just get into it. I have my trusty Victorinox knife here, my Swiss Army knife. We'll get in here. There it is. All right, just comes open like that, and I think you just dump it out. Oh, there's a box within a box here. So we have the on-camera shotgun microphone branding here with the Rycote on board and the RØDE Videomic logo at the bottom there. Let me get this closed up for you so you can see right there. If I flip it around on the side here, it does have 30-hour battery life with a built-in battery, which is one of the things I was most hopeful for. That being because I don't have to change out 9-volt batteries anymore. And it does have auto-sensing output, which means when the camera is on, the mic is on. When the camera's off, the mic is off. I don't have to remember to turn it on or off anymore. And then the safety channel, from what they've said, it actually gives you a 20 dB pad on the right channel. So if you put it into this mode and you're getting clipping from the original signal, you can actually use the backup on the right channel to fix that audio. Highly directional. Since it is an onboard shotgun mic, it should be facing me at all times, and it picks up voices in front very well, but not in the back or the sides. And the last two are actually really important to me because it helps me with my workflow to make things a little bit easier. The first one is the USB audio compatible, which means that you can actually plug this into your computer and use it as a USB microphone for voiceovers, for Skype calls, stuff like that, which is really, really cool, and I don't have to lug around that guy back there, that Samson mic. And the last one here is called Precision Gain Control. On the original Videomic and Videomic Pro series, they have a +20, -10, and a regular for the audio signal inputs, which was pretty good, but this actually gives you the ability to go in between those so you can tweak it specifically to what your camera preamps work best as. So that precision gain control on the back actually has dual function. When you're using it as a microphone, it controls the input signal, and when you're using it as a headphone amp, you can actually plug it into your computer and use that to boost the signal even more to get louder results in your headphones. All right, so I'm just gonna toss that to the side now and get to the good stuff, which is the microphone itself. You can see here that we have the Rycote Lyre on the base of the mic and all of its little buttons here, and that gain control sort of at the end here that you can dial it in by turning the knob. Just flip it around, see if there's any way to take this origami thing apart. Pull it out like that. So we've got the mic right there with its built-in windscreen. You can take that off and you can actually put on the WS11 windscreen, which is like a dead cat style, which will give you a little bit more protection from the wind. We've got that audio cable. So this is also a good addition because the old version just had a built-in cable. This gives you the ability to plug and unplug it. If you break the cable, you can always get a new one. Plus, it is TRS and TRRS compatible, which means inside the mic, when you plug into a smartphone or a digital camera, it'll know which is the best way to proceed. Whereas before, if I plugged it into my iPhone, I had to use this contraption, which is the audio adapter for the iPhone because they don't have a headphone jack anymore. And then this guy, which is also from Rode, but this is the TRS to TRRS adapter, which was just another little thing that I didn't need. Then we've got some documentation, the quick start guide, it looks like. I'm not gonna read it. If we flip that up here, we've got the USB-C cable to be able to plug it into your computer. This also works for firmware updates and charging from a battery pack, which it can also charge while you're recording. So if you have a really long shoot, you plug this into the side, you plug it into an external battery pack, and you can keep going for hours. I think that's pretty much everything in this little thing, except for the silica gel packet here, which isn't anything I need. All right, this is the Rode Videomic NTG, the broadcast style that takes after the NGT5. You can see on the side here, you've got the USB-C port. You've got a headphone jack on the other side too to monitor it and use as your headphone amplifier. And then all of these nice little buttons on the front here that I'll go over in a little bit. But first, I'm gonna go and do that update, the driver update. So using the USB-C cable, plug it in right there. Now what I'm doing is trying to find the drivers on Rode's website here. Videomic NTG. Firmware updates right here. We've got Windows and Mac, and I'm gonna go to the Mac because that's what I'm using. We're gonna open the zip file and the Rode firmware updater. All right, now we're gonna choose the Rode Videomic NTG here in the corner, and then it'll come to the firmware update, easy update. So we're gonna start. It's gonna say connect. All right, the firmware does need updating like I thought because we're running on 1.0.3 and the current version is 1.1.1, so we're gonna do the update. All right, and sit back and relax and let it install. Now that it's downloaded, I can plug it in and compare it to the old Videomic Pro and test. All right, now that the firmware update is done, we can do the test, and I've got them right here, the old Rode Videomic Pro and the Rode Videomic NTG, and I've got this really weird contraption with a friction arm here and a clamp and a handle here that has some cold shoe mounts that I'm gonna put the mics on so that I can have them closer to me. I don't have any boom stands available or anything like that. So I'm just gonna put them right here on the table and give it a quick test. This audio cable here is by Rode as well. They're not sponsoring the video, but I like their stuff, so sponsor me, Rode, come on, just do it. I'm gonna run it to the camera and just switch between the two different mics. It's a little bit of a chunky solution, but it'll work. And currently, all of the audio you've been hearing is through the Rode Wireless Go and the Smart Lav. I really like this for indoor shooting like this because this room isn't the most soundproof. I just have a literal bed over there in the corner and some blankets stacked up on an old shelving unit to try to dampen the sound in here. So getting the mics closer to me will work a little bit better. This solution is something that I really like and I can do for, like interview style. And with the Rode Videomic NTG, I could actually plug this in to the transmitter portion of the Wireless Go and use it as sort of a wireless, interview mic. But here we go. All right, I'm just gonna do one quick last test with the Rode Wireless Go. You can hear it right now. And then I'm going to switch cables over to the Rode Videomic Pro, the original here. All right, I'm back. I've got my Sony headphones on with the noise canceling so I can hear the crispness of the audio in my headphones to be able to explain it to you. Right now, what you're hearing is the Rode Videomic Pro on the right side here on 0 decibels. I'm going to change that in a second to +20 to hear the difference. This setting is actually for if you don't have the preamp volume turned down on your camera, so it's probably really, really low right now, and there's not a lot of noise in the background. But here we go to +20 dB. Now you can hear a pretty significant difference. I can even hear it in the headphones that you hear the rest of the room. It's still pretty reverby, and my voice is a lot deeper and clearer. All right, now let's turn it over to the Rode Videomic NTG. All right, so now I'm on the Rode Videomic NTG with the volume at 1. So I'm going to slowly turn the dial up here, and you can hear that the audio gets really nice and clear. And I'm going to stop about there. That looks to be about 9 decibels. I think it goes by decibels on the notching there. But there's a lot less noise in the background. It sounds a lot more focused on my voice. I'm going to back up just a slight bit here. You can hear a little bit of the reverb in the room, but it is a really nice sounding mic that sounds very professional, even to my ear just off camera here. Now this is just with the normal settings. I haven't turned on any of the pad or the safety mode, or even turned on the high pass filter at 75 or 150. This is just regular. Now I'm going to turn on the 75 hertz high pass filter there. So that will take out any rumbling noises in the background, and I'll just be really quiet for a second, see what it did. All right, now I'm going to change it to the 150. And I'm going to click it again, and that turns that off, and you probably hear a little bit of a difference between that. There might be just a slight bit of hum in the background. 75, 150. Yeah, it does take it down a little bit. So if you also hold the top button, you can get to the high frequency shelf boost, which actually is supposed to make the effects of like a dead cat or something less noticeable, because there's a dulling effect when you put foam or windscreens on there. So I'm going to push that now, and you can actually use that with both the 75 and 150 settings so that you can combine them. All right, you can hear on the audio now, the track sounds a little bit more in the high range. It doesn't have that bassy sound as much. And then I'm going to click it one more time and get to the 75. So now you can hear what it sounds like with the 75 high pass filter. And now with the 150, it sounds really clean and pretty crispy. I can't hear much in the background right now, which is a good thing, and that's what you want. So I've turned off the high pass filter and the frequency boost, and I'm going to turn on the -20 dB, which is something that you can use to actually have less clipping and stuff when you're in loud areas. So I'm going to turn that on right now, and you're going to hear a dramatic drop in the volume of the signal. If I click the button one more time, it goes into the safety mode, which means that one channel is going to be at normal volume, and then one channel is going to be 20 dBs less, so that you can actually use the audio in case there's clipping on the original channel, which is a nice feature and something I never thought I would need, but it could come in handy someday. I think the best sound for me right now that I'm getting out of it is for the switchable high pass filter at 150 hertz, and then also the high frequency shelf boost. For some reason, that just sounds really nice to me. That's what you're hearing right now as well. And I'm still just using that variable knob on 9 right now. So if I turn it up even more, you can hear that the volume goes way up. And I think I can just keep turning this for a while. We're at 15 right now, which is going to sound really harsh, I think. It's just one of those little things that makes it really convenient to use, and I don't have to go through any settings on the camera to either go back or forth between, -10 dB or regular when something switches in the surrounding audio. And even though this microphone does have an auto on and off feature that detects your camera turning on and camera turning off to turn the microphone off as well, you can actually force turn it on or force turn it off if you just don't want to use it. So I'm going to take these outside really quick, put them on the camera, and use both of them walking around just off camera at arm's length so that you can hear what they both sound like. It is pretty windy out right now, and it is snowing, so that should be a good tell of the quality of the mic. All right, I'm outside of the house. It is pretty cold out, so I don't want to stay out here too long. I've got this weird beast on top of the camera, so anybody that's looking at me is probably going to think I'm really weird out here. But The snow is falling, it's pretty nice. This is the Rode original Videomic Pro. It sounds pretty good just to my ears. I don't have a problem with it, but like I said, there's so many more functions on the Rode Videomic NTG to deal with that I think I'm gonna have to switch. And as you could probably tell, it's a little bit windy out here right now, and that Rode Videomic NTG just powers on automatically when you plug it into the camera, which is a nice touch. This one has the dial in the back set to around 10, and it does have the 150 hertz low pass filter on right now, but I think the audio is a little bit clearer out of the NTG, which is what it's supposed to do, but both of them sound pretty good. This is the test from the back, so you can't really hear me that well. It's really muffled, but the good thing about the Rode Videomic NTG is that the Rycote mount that it is mounted on is actually reversible, so you can flip the mount around. Well, I'm back inside now, and I've had some time to listen to the audio, and honestly, I do think that the Rode Videomic Pro and the Rode Videomic NTG are very similar in a lot of ways in sound quality. Obviously, with all of the added features that the Videomic NTG has, I'm going to stick with the Videomic NTG going forward. I think that that's going to be more beneficial. Plus, I can use it as a USB mic on my computer for the voiceovers on my videos, which honestly, having it in such a small package and for something I'm already going to be using that I don't have to carry another mic with me is great. I want to thank you for watching this video. I am not affiliated in any way with Rode, but I will leave some Amazon affiliate links below in the description. If you like this mic and you actually want to buy it, please go there. That'll help me out. And if you think I deserved your subscription, please click subscribe below and hit the little bell notification icon to be notified of all of my new videos. Again, thanks for watching and have a good day.